Here we are outside St Mary's, where there is a very strong Southampton side in town. They're currently 11 unbeaten after another good result of the weekend for Russell Martin. And this weekend, they travel away to Watford, where the away allocation is sold out. There are fans expecting results as they look to take their unbeaten run to 12. The Hornets are also in very, very inconsistent form after wins against Norwich and then a win against Hull. But before that, struggling to pick up any real momentum. They'll be hoping they can get some points and gain on Ipswich and Leicester at the top of the league.
Rapley now over in our sports studio. Joey's looking at the controversy of VAR. Joey, what are your opinions on the use of video assistant referees at the moment?
Yeah, thank you, John. It has been another controversial weekend of Premier League football surrounding VAR. I mean, look, let's get straight to the basics. It's not working. The only thing that at the moment that is consistent about VAR is how there is always problems with it. So what are our issues? I mean, you can point the finger in many different directions, but let's start with the individuals that are using the VAR. So another week where, I mean, let's go back to Arsenal-Newcastle, where Anthony Gordon's goal heavily criticised, minutes, taken out of the game, we're losing valuable time. It's clearly not working. So I think that in terms of going forward, we need to have a look at the people running it.
Okay, so we need alternatives. What alternatives are there?
Well, I'm glad you asked. I think that the key thing is, let's look at the World Cup, for example. They had the automated offside, which worked perfectly. There was very few complaints about it, but when it was proposed to the Premier League, they decided that they didn't want to use it. This I can't really understand. It had an almost flawless run at the World Cup. It saved a lot of time. So why wouldn't we use it? I mean, why are we still struggling to make the correct decisions and taking time out of the game when we've got a trial run piece of equipment that has worked?
So why do you think it's the Premier League then that seems to have the most talking points going on around its VAR?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think because all the top leagues around the world are using VAR. We've used it in European, worldwide tournaments. And there's very few, or certainly nowhere near as many complaints about the use of VAR. So I think you can point the finger at the people using it, but also, is it that because we pride ourselves on having the Premier League as potentially touted as the best league in the world, do we always want people talking about it? And I'm not saying that's the main reason, but it could be something to look at.
Joey Rapley, I've got a feeling we're going to be talking to you about this a lot more, but for now, thank you.
Thank you. Hello and welcome back to Solent Sports News. With me, Joey Rapley. Time now for our regular live talk feature, and today I'm joined by Kieran Phillips. Thank you very much for your time, Kieran.
It's good to be here. Nice to see you.
It's brilliant. Right, so please tell me why you're here today. Tell us about yourself.
So I'm currently in the Great Britain squad for ocean kayaking, and I'm off to Australia on Friday to go to the World Championships for it.
I mean, that must be quite an exciting opportunity. How are you feeling about going to Australia?
Buzzing, really. I haven't got to go there before, haven't been to Australia, so it'd be nice to get out the cold weather, get into the warmth and get in the sea without a wetsuit or worry about getting cold.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, tell me about the prospect of 2028 Olympics. I mean, kayak sprint being the Olympics, is that something that you're looking to be involved in?
Yeah, because currently right now the sport that I'm in is still going through the proceedings of trying to get in the Olympics every 4 years. So I'll be looking to make a swap to canoe sprint pretty soon to try and push for the Olympics in LA in 2028. So it's a thought in my head and something that I'm wanting to go and pursue, and it's going to be exciting to find out where I'm going to be at in time to come.
Absolutely. I mean, that must be quite the commitment though. I mean, talk to me about the sort of training you have to put in to have the chance of being an Olympian. What's that like?
Right now I'm currently swimming 3 or 4 times a week, 5 a.m. till 7 a.m. and then kayaking 5-6 times a week each session, doing a minimum of about 15 to 20 kilometres each time. So kayaking, I'm covering almost 100 kilometres each week, and swimming, pretty early in the morning, but it's good fun. Wouldn't really have it any other way.
I mean, it's some commitment, like you said. And how long have you wanted to do this for? How long has it been a dream to be an Olympian?
I started this all when I was 8 years old, and that's the lowest age you can start it. So, I mean, I've been on the beach and put the wetsuit on probably when I was 2 months old. So, it's always been there. Really.
I mean, you speak about World Championships and Olympics. I mean, talk to me about success and trip you've been on so far. What's been your highlight?
Probably my highlight was the World Champs in 2022. 19 and went out to my first Worlds in Italy, and didn't really know much. Didn't really know who I was up against, and just paddling, and to the halfway point I was leading, and then I was like, wow. This is happening, but blew a gasket, went out a bit too early, and I ended up finishing 7th. But it was like just that moment to know that you were in the lead, and it was like, this is pretty awesome. And then you just get a taste for it, and want to carry on.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know you've been doing some relay events as well. I mean, talk me through the difference between or your enjoyment in individual and team events. What's that like? Yeah,
it's pretty good. Doubles is always quite interesting because you get to paddle with someone who's not as boring. You can have a bit of a chat, especially if you're doing a 20-kilometre race and it takes 2 hours. At least you've got a bit of company next to you, so it's always good fun, and you don't get lonely as much.
Yeah, absolutely. And just briefly before we finish up, how do you feel about the prospect of the Olympics? Is it something that you think is realistic, or is it a hope for you?
It's a hope, but I'll find out probably by April if it's realistic or not. But I'll still try until I get there.
Well, I mean, we all here at Southern Sports News wish you the best of luck. Thank you very much for your time today. Time for a short break now, but I'll be back with a new look ahead to the midweek football fixtures in a couple of minutes. Thank you.